You're watching Vikings, a new era NFL Combine Special.
Welcome back into Vikings, a new era, the NFL Combine Special. It's the first step towards the 2022 NFL Draft, which, Hobie, is really a month and a half away. The Vikings with their first top 15 pick since 2015.
Picking at number 12, and right now mock drafts are just all over the place. And let's start with some of those expert picks. Here's Andrew Siciliano and Jordan Reed on who they think the Vikings will take with their first pick.
Okay, knowing we're 2 weeks before free agency and don't know what they're going to do in free agency, I would say if David Ojabo from Michigan, the guy on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, was sitting there, that'd be a pretty good pick.
I would take David Ojabo, edge rusher from Michigan, and I just think he's a player that fits a lot of the qualifications that Kwesi is going to be looking for from an age standpoint. He's only 22 years old right now, only started playing football in 2017, and the Vikings have a huge need at edge rusher. They haven't selected a defensive end in the first 2 rounds of the draft since 2005 with Erasmus James, so there's a huge need with addressing the defensive end spot, so I would take David Ojabo, defensive end from Michigan.
And David Ojabo would be a great pick for them because whenever you watch his tape, as we saw with Pete earlier, the way he played at Michigan, especially last season, was fantastic. He had 5 forced fumbles last year that was tied for 3rd in the NCAA. On the surface right now, with where things stand, the Vikings could be getting a very versatile player to plug in on that new defense if they go with David Ojabo.
You mentioned that new 3-4 defense, and that has to be in the back of everyone's mind as we continue to go through these picks. Cornerback is a definite need for this team, and as we see from Daniel Jeremiah and Chris Sims, that's where they think the Vikings will go at 12.
If I'm sitting there at 12 overall, and I've got so many different names running through my head, I'm going to cheat and say that somehow, some way, Sauce Gardner falls to number 12, and you just turn in the card, and everybody has a Merry Christmas.
With the 12th overall pick, the Minnesota Vikings should take the best available pass rusher or corner that's on the board. And I'm going to say it's going to be a corner at that spot. So I'll say Sauce Gardner, Cincinnati, corner. You need him? Okay, cool. That works. Good.
Pardon the pun, you could put this sauce on pretty much anything and everything all over the football field. In his career at Cincinnati, he did not give up a single receiving touchdown. He's long, he's physical, he's 6'3", and last year, whenever people wanted to see him play against top-tier talent against Alabama in the college football playoff, he held their top receiver, Jamison Williams, to -2 receiving yards. If Sauce Gardner is there, the Vikings might have to go.
There are going to be plenty of options there for the Vikings to pick a defensive guy at 12. And there are obviously, as you said earlier, several different opinions. We go back to the edge with this one from Bucky Brooks at the NFL Network.
If I'm the Minnesota Vikings, I am taking Purdue pass rusher George Karlaftis with the 12th overall pick. The reason why I want to say Karlaftis is because I want another energetic pass rusher in the rotation. In this league, it's about building a team that can win the division because that guarantees you a ticket to the postseason. The best way to do that is to have multiple guys on that defensive line that can get after Aaron Rodgers, and so Karlaftis is the pick for me.
Karlaftis is a guy who could be there, and he's a defensive end who has a lot of power whenever you watch his game. Could be that defensive end type the Vikings want to fit into a 3-4 defense. But again, that's just one area that the Vikings could focus on as they head into the draft.
And Charles Davis with CBS Sports spoke about several of those areas of concern. He couldn't just pick one guy.
The linebackers have been taken care of so ably by Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr for so long. Do you start to supplement there? There's a Nakobe Dean out of Georgia. There's a Devin Lloyd out of Utah who I really, really like. And while I'm not sure anyone's Micah Parsons, Lloyd has a little bit of that towards him with the speed. He can run, he can blitz. So I kind of look at him a little bit. If you want to go edge, okay, I think that Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau are both gone by 12. Is George Karlaftis out of Purdue, of interest? How high do you go for Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State?
And he's an Eden Prairie, Minnesota guy.
Eden Prairie, Minnesota guy.
There you go.
What about a Trayvon Walker out of Georgia? How high do you go with something like that? But those are some names that are kind of kicking around my old cabeza for right now.